Well, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are continuing the reading of the book, Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson. We are on chapter 7 already, y'all. Let's dive in. Chapter 7, William Walker Atkinson's book, Thought Vibration. I'll be reading from the screen here. So chapter 7 is entitled The Transmutation of Negative Thought. Ooh, this is important. We learned on chapter 6, there was 2 parts of that. If you missed any of the previous readings, they are all in the playlist under Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson on the YouTubes. I hope you come and join us, join our community. Love you all. Thank you for all your comments. So let's dive in. All right. Chapter 7. Oh, I was going to say chapter 6, we talked about fear, unrooting fear. Y'all, and so many things that fall underneath the umbrella of fear: worry, anger, vengeance, all the things that are poison to our system, to be honest. And even if we're right, again, holding on to fear, anger, justifying anger. And I love A Course in Miracles says anger is never justified, because it never is. On the bigger, on the level of our ego, yes, it most certainly is, but it's unsustainable and it's destructive. And it poisons our energy and our system and our mind. Yeah. All right. So we talked a lot about fear. So moving on to chapter 7, the transmutation of negative thought, he starts with worry, in all caps. Worry is the child of fear. If you kill out fear, worry will die for want of nourishment. So if we get rid of fear, uproot fear, it is like the mother root of all of these other things, including worry. If we get rid of fear, if we kill that fear, kill that weed seed, worry will go along with it. This advice is very old, and yet it is always worthy of repetition, for it is a lesson of which we are greatly in need. Some people think that, and wasn't this book written, didn't we talk about this in 1906 or something? I think it was, y'all. It says, it is always understanding that we need to get rid of fear. Doesn't it say it in the Bible too? I'm not a big Bible thumper or reader. I know some, it's a good book, some of it. But it talks a lot about don't have fear. And I think, what is that? Written a long time ago, for 2,000 years ago. And many other books and spiritual philosophies. Fear will take you down, man. So when we get rid of fear, worry will go with it. And we know where worry gets us. It ain't pretty. It never ends well. So he says it's always worth repetition, for it's a lesson we are in great need of. And this was over 100 years ago. We still in need of it. We still in great need, William Walker Atkinson. Some people think that if we kill out fear and worry, we will never be able to accomplish anything. I have read editorials in the great journals in which the writers held that without worry, one can never accomplish any of the great tasks of life, because worry is necessary to stimulate interest in work. This is nonsense, no matter who utters it. Worry never helped one to accomplish anything. On the contrary, it stands in the way of accomplishment and attainment. I've heard that too, like fear is good, right? It's not good or bad. Our thinking makes it so. It's just feedback. When we have fear, when we have worry, it's just feedback as to what thoughts are causing the fear and worry. And I agree with him. If I were to pick a side, I don't think worry and fear are necessary at all. It doesn't mean that we won't have them. It doesn't mean that we have to I don't think we could ever obliterate them. As long as we're in human bodies and growing and learning, fear and worry will always creep up, but to kill them at the root immediately, and don't F around with them. Don't say, I'm using it as a catalyst and to get me over no, this is nonsense. No matter who utters it, believe whatever you want. Worry never helped one to accomplish anything. Think about somebody in your life who's always worrying. Shout out to all the moms out there. I grew up with a very worry-wart mom. Hi, Mom. And it's passed down. It's a habit. Worry is a habit. And worry makes us feel like we're doing something. Worry can make us feel like we're doing something. Worry can make us feel like we are being responsible. If you see somebody who says, "Oh, I don't worry about anything. I just keep it cool." You're like, "Oh, must be nice, you inconsiderate. You're letting then who's going to worry? If none of us worry, who's going to worry?" It's seen as being irresponsible, immature, not seeing reality. Serious people worry, responsible people worry, people who really understand how the world works, they worry and they have don't be so silly, of course. These are all the things that we hear. I definitely was programmed with that. So it's about shifting our mindset. What would your life, let's not talk about the world because we can only change ourselves, but think about your life. What would your life look like if you didn't worry? Will worry thoughts pop up? Ding dong. Start worrying about this. Absolutely. But do not answer. Send them back down to the center. Yeah, I like it. He's saying that's nonsense. Don't listen to anybody who shovels that crap that you have to worry and fear, and it's a good thing. Because it only causes really negative things. Again, think about people who worry in your life and how much anxiety it causes. And like, you can get things done so much faster. We ain't need people worrying and getting all crazy. And we know that about people. When we know somebody can't handle something or worries about something, we don't tell them because it'll just cause more trouble. People know me well enough to not tell me things. Thank you so much. Because it's not going to help anything, especially if it's your problem, you know? The motive underlying action and doing things is desire and interest. So the motivating underlying action and doing things is desire and interest, not worry and fear. If one earnestly desires a thing, he naturally becomes very much interested in its accomplishment and is quick to seize upon anything likely to help him to gain the thing he wants. More than that, his mind starts up a work on the subconscious plane that brings into the field of consciousness many ideas of value and importance. Desire and interest, just like Napoleon Hill says, the starting point of all achievement is a burning desire. Desire and interest are the causes that result in success. That's true. What is your desire? What do you want? What do you want? What do you truly want? Do you have a burning desire? Or is your inner home just cold and dark and sad? Do you feel dead inside? I certainly have in my life. And I know the importance of having a goal, a desire, this fire within, something like a fire in my belly, something I'm working towards. And studies continue to show, especially when it comes to mental health, the two major causes of depression, of anxiety, of loneliness, of suicidality is not having a goal, no matter what the goal is, it doesn't have to be big, not having a goal and not having connection. They say that it's worse than smoking, loneliness. It's worse than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It'll kill you physically. It will. Your psychology becomes your biology. Desire and interest are the causes that result in success. Worry is not desire. It is true that if one's surroundings and environments become intolerable, he is driven in desperation to some efforts that will result in throwing off the undesirable, I have a frog in my throat, throwing off the undesirable conditions, and in the acquiring of those more in harmony with his desire. So yes, there are times when we hit rock bottom and pain causes us to change, but like, are we going to wait for that? For too long, I did. It's like, I would not make a change until I was in so much pain and things were intolerable. But like, is that the way we want to live? Let's not wait until things are so intolerable. Then that's when we make a change. Like, it's like the boiling frog. Are we going to wait till we're boiling alive before we jump out of this toxic cesspool that we've created in our life? It's out of control. So he says, look, desire and interest are the causes and results of success. Worry is not desire. It is true that if your surroundings become so painful and intolerable, yeah, we are driven through desperation to make an effort to get us out of there and to get better in more harmonious conditions that coincide with our desire. But this is only another form of desire. The man desires something different from what he has. And when his desire becomes strong enough, his entire interest is given to the task. He makes a mighty effort, and the change is accomplished. So, yeah, that is when we get into a situation where things are so intolerable, and a lot of us have been programmed that that is the only thing that'll wake us up, when we're in pain and we're like, oh Lord, I just have been asleep at the wheel. And you wake up to your life and you're like, oh Lord, I want something different. I don't want this. This is intolerable. And then we get a desire for what we do want, something different. So when you desire something different from what you have, then that's a perfect example of a starting point of a desire to get a little spark going. Like a campfire, starting a fire of desire. Just think about any situation in your life. I usually, many people just like talk about the four main categories: your health, mental, physical, emotional. Are you want to be in all those areas? Are you where you want to be? If the answer is no, okay, what do you want? What about your finances and your money? Are you where you want to be? Do you feel good about your financial situation? If not, where do you want to be? Think about your relationships, family, friends, romantic partners, all of those areas in your life to your satisfaction. If they're not, what do you want? And then lastly, your career, your purpose. What are you doing? What are you serving? How are you serving? How are you, creating or expressing yourself? Earning a living, your career, your purpose, your calling, your, what's it called? It'll come to me. It'll pop up like toast. Yeah, your desire, your calling, it'll come to me. Anyways, but do you feel like you're doing all that you want to do, that you were born for? If not, what do you want? So we can whip up desire if we feel like we're dull and things just aren't really exciting and we're kind of dragging ass when we're waking up in the morning, or we're feeling hopeless, or like, oh, is this all there is, or just settling, and you want a burning desire. Someone actually asked me this one time. How do you get a more burning desire? It's like, think about an area of your life you want to change, and then think about what you truly want. And if success was guaranteed, what would you truly want? And then that starts sparking the fire of desire. And then we have to keep stoking it through thoughts, through ideas, through conversations, through indulging, memorizing, or not memorizing, visualizing, just like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about every day. Visualize the life that you truly want. Yeah. So when we desire something different than what we have, desire becomes strong enough, our entire interest is given to the task, we make a mighty effort, and the change is accomplished. But it wasn't worry that caused that effort. Worry could content itself with wringing its hands and moaning, woe is me, nothing's gonna get better. Nothing works out for me. I messed up. I'm a loser. I'm too old. So worry could content itself with just worrying and moaning and crying and talking about and focusing on what's wrong, and wearing its nerves to a frazzle and accomplishing nothing. I've been there. It's painful. Desire acts differently. It grows stronger as the man's conditions become intolerable, and finally, when he feels the hurt so strongly that he can't stand it any longer, he says, I won't stand this any longer. I will make a change. That's kind of when we reach the point, I'm done. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm done with this. And when you make a decision, that's what it is. It's making a decision that I am no longer going to live like this. I will no longer tolerate this. I will no longer feel like this. And it's to the point where you don't even ask the question, well, how would I feel? Well, where am I going to go? You don't even ask yourself because you made a decision. You're like, I don't go. I don't care how it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. So I'm just know I'm done with this. And when you truly make a decision that you are done, you burn the boats. I will no longer do this. That's when change starts to happen. That's when the doors open. Decision is that door that opens. And before you cannot see any of the solutions until you make the decision. Only after you make the decision will all the opportunities show themselves. I won't stand this any longer. I will make a change. And lo, the desire springs into action. The man keeps on wanting a change the worst way, which is the best way, and his interest and attention begin given to the task of deliverance. He begins to make things move. Worry never accomplished anything. Worry is negative and death producing. You can worry, like we say it all the time. We worry ourselves sick. You're going to worry yourself sick. People worry themselves into illnesses, ulcers, headaches, high blood pressure, back pain. Worry is destructive. Again, it's not to say we're never going to worry. Worry will pop up. We're human beings, but nip it in the bud right away. Don't indulge it. It will never end well. Take the information that's coming up around the worry, deal with it reasonably, like, be normal, don't be reckless, but move on. Do not stay on that frequency of worry. Worry is negative and death producing. Desire and ambition are positive and life producing. A man may worry himself to death, and yet nothing will be accomplished. But let the man transmute his worry and discontent into desire and interest, coupled with a belief that he is able to make a change. And the I can and I will idea, then something happens. That's where we were talking about, I think it was on part 1 of chapter 6. There's 2 types of people, and it is very black and white. I can and I will, or I can't and I won't, or I can't, which you won't. So what camp do you fall in? And it takes no effort to be in the I can't and finding all the reasons why. As Bob Proctor used to say, any dumbbell can tell you why it won't work. Any ding dong can point out all the problems. It takes somebody of true faith, of desire, of stamina, of persistence, of hope, of thinking of all the reasons why it could work. So that's the camp we want to be in. So yeah, think about your life. This will be part 1 of chapter 7 because I gotta hop off. But we will continue reading chapter 7. Maybe later on I can hop on. Ooh, this is kind of a long one. We're gonna have an epic reading of part 2. Stay tuned, my friends. All right, we will continue William Walker Atkinson's book, Thought Vibration, chapter 7, part 2 next time. This was chapter 7, part 1. I hope you're enjoying this. Thank you for all your comments, all your shares, all your likes. If you have any questions or want to, share any of your takeaways, I would love to hear them. And have a wonderful day. I'll see you hopefully later. That would be fun for a little evening session, but we'll see how it goes. Have a beautiful day, y'all.